Losing someone you love doesn't just hurt. It carves out a hollow space inside you. For Ashley, that space had been empty for 5 years. Empty of their voices, their laughter, even their faces. Because since the accident, her parents had never once shown up in her dreams. Not even once. She longed for a sign, a memory, anything. But the silence was absolute. Ashley wasn't a dreamer. She was a nurse. She worked the palliative care ward, a place full of quiet goodbyes. It was a strange irony. In a place where everyone was facing the end, she felt further from her own closure than ever before. Her focus was sharp, her care meticulous, but her heart remained heavily guarded. She was excellent at helping others let go, but terrible at letting herself remember. Then came Mr. Yusuf. Mr. Yusuf was a retired architect, an old soul with the gentlest eyes she'd ever seen. He didn't fight the end. He observed it, often talking about his life as if describing a completed blueprint. But he wasn't sad. He seemed simply ready. Ashley found herself spending a little extra time with him. She wasn't sure why. Maybe it was his stillness, or the quiet patience in his gaze that mirrored the peace she desperately sought. She'd bring him warm towels, adjust his pillows, and talk softly about nothing important. She saw him, really saw him, not as a terminal patient, but as a man waiting for his final door to open. She made sure his room was always bathed in soft light, a tiny personal act of kindness. As the days turned into weeks, it was clear Mr. Yusuf was nearing the threshold. One particularly quiet night, Ashley was at his bedside. The oxygen monitor chirped softly, the only sound in the room. She adjusted his covers, her fingers briefly brushing his hand. Suddenly, Mr. Yusuf's eyes fluttered open. He looked directly at Ashley, his usual gentle gaze now radiating a profound, clear warmth. He squeezed her hand, a surprising burst of strength. He didn't thank her for the care or apologize for his pain. Instead, he simply whispered, his voice thin but steady, "It's a beautiful crossing, child. The light is so warm. Be brave. They are waiting for you, not in the sky, but in the safe, soft rooms of your heart. Look inside." Then, he closed his eyes and drifted away. Ashley stood there for a long time, the words echoing in the clinical silence. Look inside. It felt less like a last farewell, and more like a mysterious whispered instruction. Later, walking home under the cold, silent stars, the loneliness returned with a vengeance. She missed them so much, the ache was physical. Tonight, she wished harder than ever before. She begged the universe, begged God, begged the air for a sign. Just a glimpse. That night, she didn't just dream. She returned. She was standing in the hallway of her childhood home, but she was invisible. The air smelled exactly like the lemon polish her mother always used. In the kitchen, the sunlight poured through the window, illuminating her father, sitting at the small wooden table. He was reading the newspaper, a half-eaten bowl of cereal beside him. So normal. So real. She watched him, his slightly messy hair, the way he held his mug. Then, her mother walked in, wearing the old floral dress Ashley hadn't seen in years. She placed a hand on her father's shoulder, leaned down, and kissed the top of his head. An everyday moment. A moment that had meant nothing until it meant everything. They didn't speak. They didn't have to. The mother's smile, as she turned and looked directly at Ashley, was the answer to every question she had carried for 5 long years. It wasn't a greeting from heaven. It was a gift of memory, unlocked. It was the absolute, undeniable proof that the love they shared was not a finished story, but a constant living thing, stored exactly where Mr. Yusuf had promised, in the safe, soft rooms of her heart. Ashley went to work the next morning. She was still a nurse, still meticulously professional, but something was different. She carried a quiet warmth now. She understood. Mr. Yusuf's final act wasn't just a goodbye. It was a prayer of gratitude. He hadn't asked for a miracle. He had simply asked for comfort to be given to the one who had given him peace. Sometimes, the truest form of connection isn't reaching across the sky. It's in the small acts of kindness we offer here on earth, which somehow, magically, unlock the doors to our own healing. And maybe, just maybe, that love is the real heaven.